this isn't so much a question, but this is more of a just a comment from Mega Hustle. So something tells me that Langdon will probably trade Sasser. I've been feeling that too. I just don't really see a pathway for him. How do you feel about Sasser and just rotation, depth chart, or just minutes for that matter?
So we were talking earlier about Langdon, like reevaluating this roster because these are not his guys. Marcus Sasser feels like the very, very pinnacle of a Troy Weaver guy. That was a guy that Troy Weaver traded up for in the draft to go get because he really wanted him. I like Sasser. I think that his scoring ability to, go get a bucket at any given moment is something that's not easy to find in this league. It's not just everyone can do that for sure. But no, there's definitely a real world where Langdon feels very differently about some of the players that Troy Weaver went out of his way to go get. And I think that Sasser is probably the number one guy on that list. But at this point, it's so hard to get a read on Langdon because, he's obviously talked a lot, but every time that a player is asked about individually, it's not the Sassers of the roster. It's how do you feel about Cade? And those are easy answers for a new GM or new president.
Yeah, I think Sasser to me, like when I was doing a depth chart video, I was looking at shooting guard. And I was like, okay, there's no pathway for shooting guard minutes because you brought in Tim Hardaway, who you traded for. You brought in Malik Beasley, who is probably maybe going to get started in minutes, maybe like high 20, 25 minutes a game. Ivy, and I'm just like, Sasser would be your 4th-string shooting guard, so that's probably not going to work. Then I'm looking at backup point guard, and we don't really have one. Like, is that the pathway for him to play backup point guard, which I don't really think is his role, and I think it would be a mistake to try to play him. To Mega Hustle's point, I think there is a very strong possibility he is the casualty with Trajan Langdon and him possibly trying to trade him because, to your point, he didn't draft him, not his guy. And I think he has enough value to at least get you something. Maybe it's a future 2nd-round pick. Maybe it's a late 1st-round pick. Maybe it's a rotational player. You never really know how other people and other organizations, front offices view a guy like that. He is undersized, but the one elite skill he has is just scoring the basketball, and he's really good at that. And I think the way the NBA is driven offensively, you need bucket getters like Sasser. I just don't really see a clear pathway for him for minutes. I think right now he might get like 5 to 10 minutes a night. And it's just like, do you really want to, give a guy 5 to 10 minutes a night and kind of just maybe have him as an emergency break the glass type of shooting guard or, try to maybe do backup point guard with him? I don't know. I personally think he's going to be a casualty though.
Yeah, and the other side of the spectrum too, though, is it's like, what's his trade value? There's no team that's going to sit there and rifle off a 1st-round pick for the rights to Marcus Sasser. So it's like, okay, maybe the role that you just mentioned is a break the glass shooting guard type of guy, maybe spot minutes here or there. If they're really going to lean into that staggering Ivy and Cade as our point guards, maybe, Beasley and Hardaway always play games. If you look at their game logs over the years, they don't get hurt very much, knock on wood. So who knows really at this point? All I do know is if we do decide to move off of him, like, you're not getting that 1st-round pick back. That's for sure. That's not happening. So
25, I believe it was, or 24, like a really late 1st. I think we had to trade like 2 seconds to get him. And then you kind of look at the spectrum for like Troy versus Trajan. Trajan gets Bobby Klippman, and he only had to trade 1 second to go get him. And it's just like,
and take on Wendell Moore's contract.
Yeah, night and day. But I do agree with you, Mega Hustle. I think he may be a casualty to possibly get moved because it's not that he's a bad player. I just don't really see like where he's going to get the minutes.